The best NBA talent typically takes some time to develop, and early on, the young players go through plenty of ups and downs as they adjust and learn the NBA game. Rookies are hardly ever consistent contributors to teams in a meaningful way, but the leaps that they take from year 1 to year 2 can be monumental to the trajectory of the rest of their careers. This leads us to the topic of today's video, where we'll be discussing 5 players going into their second seasons in the league that I believe are about to take massive leaps individually, breaking out in a pretty big way. Now, one caveat I need to make clear is that I didn't just go through selecting the top picks from that draft class who have already made names for themselves, because that would be too obvious. So the players we're discussing today were more unheralded rookies last season that I think are about to emerge. Before we start though, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first player about to undergo a huge breakout season in year 2 is Josh Giddey of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Josh Giddey was the 6th pick of the 2021 draft, so I am definitely teetering on the border of him being disqualified for being a top pick and obvious selection, but his rookie season saw him go through a rocky road, filled with some brilliant highs, but also some shocking lows like the other rookies. I felt comfortable including him on this list because I truly believe he was only barely starting to scratch the surface of what he's capable of last season, and with a full year under his belt now, I think he's entering year 2 with plenty of confidence to come out and perform from the jump. Giddey is such an intriguing talent because he's in that kind of Magic Johnson, Ben Simmons area as a 6'8" player that plays his best at the point guard position, and while I'm not saying that he's that great yet, that is his archetype at the moment. He handles the ball and creates for those around him at an elite rate, using his height to see over the defense and pick out passes better than most at his height can make. Last season he averaged about 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, and this season I'm expecting all of those numbers to see a boost, to the point where he should be a player stuffing the stat sheet on a regular basis, putting himself on triple-double watch regularly. The Thunder are entering another season where they are likely going to be near the bottom of the standings, and with Chet Holmgren unfortunately injured for the year, Giddey will be even more heavily prioritized in what the team does on both ends. The next second-year player about to have a massive breakout season this year is Moses Moody of the Golden State Warriors. Moody is a player I was very high on at the time of the 2021 NBA draft, and the fact that he landed with the Warriors resulted in his development coming much more behind the scenes than it did on the court for fans to see. As a championship contender who actually did go on to win another title, their focus was on winning games, and while getting some experience under the belt of your rookies will help you in the long run, their inexperience can sometimes cost you when it matters, so Moody more often than not only received brief cameos in games when he got minutes. This season though, Moody is stepping into a much bigger role in the rotation, and should be one of the first players off the bench for them, and I am very confident that he will thrive in that role. What makes Moody such an ideal modern-day player is that he was drafted being labeled as the ideal 3-and-D player, and that's exactly the role that he's going to be playing. He has an outstanding shooting stroke and started to heat up from 3 as the season went on last year. He's a solid perimeter defender for his age, and most importantly, he doesn't try to do too much, which results in the amount of mistakes that he makes being minimized. The Warriors did bring back Andre Iguodala, but Moody's talent is undeniable, and he's going to show everyone why he was a lottery pick in the first place. The next player going into his second season that's about to break out in a big way is Bones Highland of the Denver Nuggets. Highland was a late first-round pick in 2021, but with both Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. out last season, he had the opportunity to step into minutes right away off the bench for the team, and on a few occasions, he flashed potential of a player that could end up being a problem for opposing defenses for years to come. He, like most point guards as a rookie, may not have been producing at an eye-popping rate, but he showed enough potential for the Nuggets to feel comfortable trading away their other bench guards in Monte Morris and and Will Barton, who would have taken minutes away from him in order to ensure that Highland would be fully integrated into what the team is doing moving forward. Highland is officially the Nuggets' 6th man now, and it would not surprise me one bit to see his name in the 6th man of the year race when the season begins. Highland is such an impressively creative playmaker who has had the confidence to knock down threes from way beyond the three-point line even in college, and his deep range keeps defenses on their toes enough for him to then take advantage of it and attack off the dribble. He is still a little bit skinny and needs to get some strength on him to improve defensively, but offensively, he is going to be a lethal spark off the bench. The next second-year player about to break out during this upcoming NBA season is Alperen Sengun of the Houston Rockets. Sengun has been labeled by many as the light version of Nikola Jokic, and when you watch him play, you very quickly pick up on why. Sengun has already become one of the most skilled bigs in the game today, with outstanding court vision and passing talent for a center, unbelievably advanced footwork in the post with an array of moves down low that mimic former greats, soft touch, and a jumper that is still a work in progress, but it is coming along. Sengun's minutes last year mostly came off of the bench, as he does need to improve defensively if he's going to anchor the middle of the court for extended minutes, but offensively, he has shown that he can be a force in the middle who can make the lives of those around him easy. The Rockets last season were also playing Christian Wood a ton, who tended to dominate the ball a lot, and his minutes came at the expense of Sengun, but the team traded Wood to Portland this summer, so now Sengun is expected to be the full-time starting center, and with an uptick in minutes and a bigger role in the offense, I think he's going to blossom into someone who can give you pretty balanced production across the board. And finally, the last player who is about to have a breakout second season in the NBA is Josh Primo of the San Antonio Spurs. To put it lightly, the Spurs are going to lose a lot of basketball games this year. After trading away DeJounte Murray and losing Lonnie Walker in free agency, this team is fully devoted to a rebuild season to put themselves into the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes, and as a result of that, their young players are going to get the opportunity to play a lot of minutes, with Primo being one of the biggest beneficiaries of this. When Primo was drafted, he was the youngest player in the draft, so it was understandable that he wasn't immediately ready to play NBA minutes. He spent most of last season down in the G League, where he scored a solid 17 points per game while knocking down an impressive 42% of his threes. Primo is a naturally born scorer with a knack for getting points in a plethora of ways, and he's coming into this season as confident as ever. He'll be a younger player than most rookies this season, with a full season of professional experience under his belt, and on a Spurs team that will be desperate for scoring threats to emerge, he is my primary candidate to step into that role for them. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below which second-year players you think are about to have a big year this season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.